I know you all like that opening. That's for the big introduction of Wout Weghorst. And for, I would say, welcome to the Premier League. Ciao, Felix. And enjoy your next 3 games on the sidelines. You're on loan for half a season, and now you're sitting for half of it.
Yeah, that was a solid debut by him. Just gets sent
He
off.
good too. It's just crazy because he looked good, and I mean, people are like, nah, that's soft. I'm like, wait a second, man. After the game, Potter's like, yeah, nah, it's a red card. Like, you can't do that. Like, his cleats weren't to his knee. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say he had him like pointed up at the guy. Like, come on.
Yeah, you can't do that, man. This is the Premier League, man. This isn't, La Liga or it's one of these other, farmers leagues, man.
I agree, though. He did look good. He looked depraved. Like he took a lot of good shots that just missed. But yeah, he looked like he was hungry. He's tired of the terror ball. Wants to start scoring some goals.
They're a mess, man.
Yeah, they are.
It's gonna just take a quick look at the table before we go into these games.
No Mitrovic, no problem.
Yeah, no, they're good, man. I tell you what. I mean, you look at this table right now, and Fulham is on 31 points, and my friend, Kyle Franco is a Fulham fan, and he's like, nah, I'm just thinking about not getting relegated. I'm like, nah, you guys got to turn, you guys got to start thinking about getting into Europe now. I mean, it's not good enough now to not get relegated. You're halfway through the season, you have 31 points. You have to start talking about maybe bringing some players in and making a run at Europe because Chelsea stinks. They're not going to do anything. They're banged up. Like you said yesterday, they look like Manchester United did for so many years. I think Chelsea's going to have some years of some lean years here. They reminded me a lot of Manchester United in the last decade. They won 2 European Cups, just like Manchester United did in 1999 and 2008. They won a Europa League. They won, some Premier League titles, 2010, 2015, 2017. They've won some FA Cups. And now they're just, this team is a mess. And it's not something you can keep spending your way out of. Like at some point, you can't keep spending $500 million a year. There's just no way. They're on 25 points. They're below. They're talking about top 4. They're not even top 4 in the London table. They're Arsenal, Tottenham, Fulham, and Brentford are ahead of them at this point. And to see Brentford, Brighton, and Fulham ahead of you after 18 matches, that's an absolute disaster.
Well, if you look at it, so Chelsea's got 25 points. They're literally right in the middle. They're 8 points out of how many points does the 5th place have?
33.
Yeah, so they're 8 points out of a European spot. And they're also around 8 points out of a relegation spot at this point.
Yep. Yeah, they're mid-table club, man, and this is just what's going. They're going to be. There's a possibility because they do have some good players if they get healthy. They finish somewhere around here. Somewhere between 6th and 8th. There's a possibility they get into Europe. They're only 3 points behind Liverpool right now. Liverpool
also stinks.
Yeah, exactly. But there's now they're 8 points back at Tottenham, who's has a game in hand on Manchester United right now, and it's they're 10 points back of Manchester United, and Manchester United still has a game in hand against Bournemouth. So, Manchester United after next weekend will have played both their league matches against Manchester City and Arsenal. So, when you talk about I know they have, all these different tournaments they're in, but, when you talk about, Manchester United's fixtures after this brutal run of form, you got Leicester, Brentford, Liverpool, Southampton, Brighton. Newcastle, Everton, Forest, Chelsea, Spurs. You got a couple. You got the Chelsea Spurs back to back, but Chelsea's nothing to fear right now. Aston Villa, West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Fulham. That's a decent run in. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not. I don't want to make any predictions. I'm just excited to see them play tomorrow. Hopefully they don't get blown out, but we'll see. Um, I have this open, so I guess we'll look at this first. Napoli Juventus today. I know Bill was talking about it yesterday, taking Juventus. I just at that price, I don't see any other. I don't see how you could bet any other thing than Napoli today.
Yeah, definitely Napoli. I mean, they took their first loss of the season against Inter Milan the other day, but both of their games since coming back from the break have been on the road. So now they're going to play their first home match since coming back from the break. Still undefeated at home, almost averaging 3 goals a game there and not even giving up a goal a game. Yeah, it's going to be tough for Juventus side that scored 5 goals in 8 away matches this year. They're not a good team. I still don't think I know Juventus is on an 8-game run, 8 wins in a row in the Serie A, but at the same time, they don't win games on the road. If you look at their last 4 away matches in Serie A, they're all 1-0 wins, and on top of that, their last 2 matches, both after the World Cup break, both 1-0 wins with the winning goal coming in the last 5 minutes of the match. You're not going to win against Napoli playing like that. Like they either have to come in with the mindset where, we just need to play. We know we're not going to score and we just need to play defensively and try to keep Napoli from scoring. Because even if we get the draw here, they still drop 2 points. It's not great, but we still somewhat we keep the gap the same, whereas them going up by 10 points on Juventus. So
yeah, if they go up by 10, I once again, we have to see what Napoli looks like after the window closes. I can't believe they'll sell. Osimhen's going to go in the summer. Simeone. These players are going to go in the summer. They'll sell players. I mean, there's just no way. I mean, they're going to get so much money. 200 million. For a couple or 2 or 3 of these players. So they'll sell them, but they're not going to sell them now. And 10-point lead, I think, is probably a little bit insurmountable. The game today in the Premier League is Aston Villa against Leeds. I'd
rather watch the Napoli match.
Yeah, nice. Aston Villa is 11th right now. Leeds is 14th, 5 points between them. I think Aston Villa is going to be. I was thinking Juventus double chance, maybe just take the energy like Villarreal over Celta Vigo. I think Villa is better, but I just don't trust them. I think at some point they're going to start stabilizing. I know Leeds sometimes can get some results. So to me, that's a tough game. Bill, Celta Vigo, Villarreal. Look, Villarreal just looked really good against Real Madrid last weekend. Celta Vigo is way down the table, I believe.
Villarreal's been in great form too. Like they've won, I think, their last 4 straight since coming back from the break. 2 league matches and 2 cup wins, and the cup wins were like 9-1 and 5-1. Like they just absolutely let loose in those.
Celta Vigo hasn't been great at home. Villarreal has been pretty decent on the road, kind of. I mean, they haven't been great either. Yeah, look, Villarreal, I think is right now is fighting. If they win this game, they can jump up into 4th. So they're fighting for a top 4 spot. Villarreal, you get them on the road at plus 175. I think it's probably worth a little bit of a shot. I mean, maybe just to be safe. Pick Villarreal pick is about -110, so you're laying almost even money with a little bit of juice there to protect yourself against the draw. That might be the better way to go. If you want the value, obviously, the plus money if you think they're going to win the game. Ooh, excuse me, man. Stay up late last night watching something. I don't remember what I was watching.
Fell asleep and don't remember, but I was watching something.
Something about lava or something like this. But yeah, I think that's an interesting play. I whether you go Villarreal plus 175 there, or maybe you do half on Villarreal plus 175, half on the Asian handicap, maybe, so you don't you cover yourself a little bit, but you see the over under is pretty low. I think they're expecting this to be a low score game. Celta Vigo does score at home. I mean, when you look at their home record, it's not great. They've only won 2 with 3 draws, but they've scored 11 goals at home, given up 12, so they do score at home. So maybe both teams to score. -117. It's not a terrible bet, but once again, Villarreal has been in great form, so I think that's a decent play there. Let's see what we got here. There's not a lot of not betting Algeria and Libya.
What is it? What is that?
African nations. I have no idea what it is.
Because I saw a bunch of people on Twitter giving out Nations League picks, and I was like, did UEFA Nations League doesn't start till like March?
Yeah, March. How about Algeria?
I was like, what are we giving out? I didn't understand it.
How about Algeria -1.5? Libya is bad, right? Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I don't even know if you can.
There's been other friendlies. Like I saw Sweden was playing Iceland yesterday. I don't know.
There's some friendlies. I don't know what why. This is. Like, I know it's a tournament. I mean, I just don't know. Bill, you got to give me the odds for that. I'm not really sure. I don't see it here anywhere.
So it's Africa Nations League, African Nations, or is it the Africa Cup of Nations?
African Nations Championship. I have no idea.
Bet365 is so confusing sometimes. They don't even have an Africa tab. I think it's considered rest of the world. Yeah. Bet365 puts Coppa Italia usually between like the Georgia League and the Ghana League. And I'm like, is there a silent G at the beginning that I'm missing? Like what? Like I don't understand the way they do things.
I don't even know what this is. Like, I guess I have it under Nations League. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find it here.
He has it under Nations League. Bill, I guess I don't know who's playing in it. Like, I don't know who's going to be playing for the teams because, I would imagine, Morocco's not playing.
Oh, there it is. Found it. For me, it was under international list.
Morocco can't go because Algeria won't let them fly through the airspace. What? Well, I would, probably
stay away.
I mean, I don't know. Algeria probably, but I would just see who's playing first because, all the Premier League guys are back. Like, so, I can't imagine.
They're minus 223 right now, Algeria.
Minus one's not bad then. I don't know. But Bill, once again, like just make sure you know who's playing in that game before you bet it.
Like there's Ivory Coast and Senegal tomorrow, but nobody's playing for Senegal. There's Premier League. Like you're not gonna get Idrissa Gueye. You're not gonna get maybe Sadio Mane is playing because Germany still has another 4 weeks off.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Before they start, maybe he'll be playing in that. I don't know.
Just quickly before we go to the Premier League, Lens plays at home this weekend, but now they're minus 315, so you're not even getting a lot of value on that. Minus 1.5 is plus 100. But I think now what's going to happen is Lens is going to be treated like PSG is a little bit in these games. They're playing are they playing Auxerre? Auxerre, who's terrible. Auxerre is minus 24 goal difference and is dead last. They've given up 23 goals on the road, 1-1 and 7. 7 goals scored, 23 allowed. So if you're looking for a play tomorrow, I would say Lens plus 100.
Take them in a parlay with Marseille, who's also at home against Lorient. Marseille has looked damn good since coming back from the break. Marseille was one of the few road teams that actually won in France the other day.
See, we got minus 1 Asian handicap for both.
Because, Marseille, I told you, man, Marseille, I think they're going to shoot up the table now. They look really good. And if anything, from what I saw, Lens takes a 1-0 lead in the first 5-10 minutes, and then they go down 2-1 before the 20-minute mark. They ended up tying it before halftime, but then they had a scoreless second half in a match they probably could have won. So that was absolutely pathetic against Strasbourg, I thought.
Yeah, I think Lens minus 1, Marseille minus 1 Asian handicap, not bad. I mean, if you're, there's a possibility both teams win by 1 goal, so you wouldn't get the parlay. But if you do the plus, if you just do money line, it's going to be minus 125, so you can do that. Different value. But yeah, to me, Lens Marseille look like pretty good plays tomorrow. Premier League. Let's see who plays tomorrow. Is there anything good? Oh yeah, Manchester.
I know you're just itching to talk about it, Sean. Go ahead, unhinge.
United or draw looks good to me, to be honest. The only thing, this is a massive game. Obviously, City played so well the other day. You're getting City at minus 121 here.
City played so well the other day. 2-0 loss to Southampton.
Yeah, they didn't have a shot on goal. They're terrible. They just, a lot of times there's going to be a response, but once it I'm not sure. I don't know how good this team is. I know United's played really well and they played a lot of bums, and I flip-flop about this because when you look at the futures, for some reason, City is still minus 167. Arsenal still plus 175. Manchester United is now the third choice, by the way, at plus 2,500, which is interesting to me. And then when you look at the futures for the FL Cup, Manchester United is now the favorite at minus 122. And for the FA Cup, Manchester United is now plus 400 to win the FA Cup, which to me, is obviously Arsenal plays Manchester City. So that's why Arsenal's plus 900 and Liverpool still has a replay and they should be out. But one of Arsenal and Manchester City is going to be out of the FA Cup, so it's Bill. That's what I was looking at here. The over is 2.5. It was 6-3 last time. Foden and Haaland had hat tricks. Martial had 2. The interesting thing to me here is Manchester United over 1.5 goals. They scored 3 last time. I was on it last time. It's plus 190. When you look at the goal scorers, Rashford is plus 265 to score in this game. He scores in every single game. All right. He's the new Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is, he'll play. Haaland is minus 120. To me, I mean, those are both good bets.
He didn't play against Southampton, so he'd be ready for this one.
Yeah, I think he came on. Like, look, he can't play every game. I mean, City should have. I mean, let's be honest. With the lineup City put out, I mean, Luke, I'll see you, buddy. I know you're excited about the game, Manchester United City game. It's tomorrow. Here's the lineup they put out: Grealish, Alvarez, Foden, Gundogan, Calvin Fatty, and Cole Palmer, Walker, Cancelo, Laporte, Gomez. That team should not be not having one shot. Someone told me Julian Alvarez is the greatest player of all time. He just won a gold medal. There's no way that team should have no shots on goal against Southampton. So, I don't know. I mean, look at their form in the Premier League. Let me pull this out. It's not been great. I mean, you look at.
It's not the usual City form.
They get like this. It's 1-1 against Everton, 1-0 against Chelsea, 2-1 to Brentford, 2-1 against Fulham, 1-0 against Leicester, 1-0 against Liverpool. Like, they're just, for every time they score 6 and they score 3 and they score 4, they score 1 against Aston Villa. Like, they're just a weird team. Like, sometimes they just don't score goals. Like, I'm not saying, they're probably going to score against Manchester United.
It's just laziness and disinterest.
It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just really weird.
Like, they don't get up for a team like Aston Villa and Everton until the last 20 minutes when they realize it's still tied and they're like, oh my God, we need to score a goal now. And then they pressure for 20 minutes, but sometimes the teams could just hold off. Like the one Aston Villa, and obviously, Everton got their late equalizer. But I don't know. I feel like this is one City will probably get up for it, obviously, because it's the derby match. And
they just lost. Bill, Manchester United's and draws basically even money, minus 104, plus 100 I've seen. The only thing, Manchester United has a decent record against City over the years. Because they actually go at them. Like, some of these teams just sit back. Like, they'll counter and, they have, Bruno and Casemiro. Like, these teams, like, I just feel like sometimes, like, Real Madrid last year in that tie scored like 5 goals, right? Against, like, sometimes you just like sit back and you're scared of them. And it's just like, why? Like, just go at them. Like, the teams that, over the years, obviously it's 5 years ago, when Mbappe went at them and they scored 6 goals. And like, if you have a go at this team, sometimes they RB Leipzig in that COVID year, they can be had. Like, they're not great defensively. So just go at them. The teams that actually like have a chance and go at them sometimes, they knock them back.
Did you see the total in this game? It's minus 140 for the over 2.5.
Yeah, I mean,
I would pay the juice at that price and take it. Like, it was 6-3 the last time they met. there was like, I took your United. That's why I'm hesitant to take them this weekend, because I took them plus 1.5 last time and they got absolutely destroyed. And the worst part was, it wasn't even like I had hope in the match. It was like 2-3 nothing Man City in the first 20-30 minutes, and like it was like over already. So
okay. I mean, here's the results from the last. They lost 6-3. They lost 4-1. This year in 2022. At the beginning of the year, in October, but then all right, see it. City won 2-0, but then United won 2-0. United won 2-0. United won 1-0. City won 3-1. They go back and forth. This rivalry, it doesn't really matter. I mean, City's been dominant in this time, but United will get a win. 2-0, 3-2. 1-0. They've gotten wins. Even in this period where City's been ultra dominant, United is hung with them. So, I don't know. I'm confident like they could get a result. I don't know if they will, but I'm not like, it's not like other years where I'm like, yeah, they're gonna get killed. They stink. Like I actually think United squad is pretty good at this point. They're getting they're starting to get some players going, and then they're clearly building a squad. They have Wan-Bissaka probably playing tomorrow, and he's been better defensively. Sometimes Dalot, I think 5 of the goals came down his side. Bill, look, that's the next game on the board here, Brighton Liverpool. It was 3-3 last time Brighton played Liverpool, and 100% I think they could beat them.
And that was right after the manager sack, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he went to.
Not sack, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, look,
abandonment.
I liked, I don't understand why Brighton, just lines going down now. They were 250, now they're 225. I don't understand. Brighton draw is minus 134. I think Brighton can 100% get a result. I mean, here's the table. I mean, get off this.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bill. The match isn't at Anfield, so you got a big advantage there, because ain't no special treatment coming for Liverpool in this one.
It's a huge game. I mean, look, it's a big game for both here, because when you talk about,
they're 1 point separated in the table.
Yeah, yep, and I hate when I do this. Move that thing. When you talk about the table here, Liverpool. Once again, I mean, look, they're 7 points back on United, man. They have a chance. If United gets a result, Liverpool has a chance here to start getting cut adrift. I mean, Liverpool's it's the same thing. I mean, when you look at their fixtures, Brighton's tough. Chelsea's going to be tough. I don't care what anybody says.
Two trash bags fighting each other, I guess.
Yeah. Wolves away is going to be tough. Everton at home is always tough. Those two teams, it's always a draw. Newcastle, clearly going to be tough. At Istanbul is clearly going to be tough.
Istanbul.
Yeah, remember when they were down 3-0 in 2014? They had to keep scoring, and then Crystal Palace scored 3 goals in the final 10 minutes, and they tank their title chances.
Oh my God!
At United, these aren't. They have a tough schedule. Look, Nunez is a part of the problem. I'm gonna, let's be honest. But Bill, I just think they're getting. It's just a cycle. These teams cycle, and it's they need to refresh, and I just don't know if they're gonna do it, because they're in the same boat United is. They're in the middle of a sail. So 100% I think Brighton can win this game. Will they? I don't know. Liverpool could show up and win 6-0. But Brighton or draw is probably a good play at home. They'll have their players back, Casado and some of these guys. This next game, Everton Southampton, to
Did
me,
you see? You saw that thing I sent you about Abubakar, what he said about Salah, right?
Yeah.
See, if he can see what we sees, like there's something up with this Liverpool. They don't create chances for each other. Lose like replacing Mane with Nunez did nothing for you. You need a playmaker.
I tried to tell people Mane was their best player for years. Everybody told me it was Salah because he puts the ball in the net. Nah, you don't understand.
What about the guy that puts it on his foot?
That's why people get mad about Bruno because he loses the ball. Bruno Fernandes, he loses the ball too much. But that's not the point of his game. The point of his game is to make chances, and he puts them on a plate for people 5 times a game. I mean, that kid Garnacho the other day. If they had anybody in that lineup that could finish, Garnacho would have had 5 assists. It's about making plays. So Mane was their playmaker under LOL Everton. Look, here's the thing. It's 18th versus 20th. Southampton just beat City, played out of their minds, but they played on Saturday. Everton has been off. Everton has a chance here to, jump up the table. I still don't like their squad is not the worst squad. They're not the worst squad in the Premier League. Like they're pretty bad, but I think there's going to be
some decent names on their team. It's not like it's just a bunch of scrubs running around.
I'm not telling you to bet Everton this game, but I actually think that's going to be a pretty interesting game. This weekend, it's like all the top teams are playing each other and all the bottom teams are playing each other. Nottingham Forest, Leicester City, I think, look at the odds there, plus 163, plus 163.
We discussed this, Sean. They knew what was going to happen.
Yep, 100%. The Wolves-West Ham game, to me, once again, I think this Wolves team is like this close. They played really well in that game, that cup game. They played well on the weekend. They really should have beat Liverpool. They had them dead beat. Lopetegui has this team flying. I think West Ham's in a lot of trouble. This is a tough game. This is a game where I might throw $10 or $20 on Wolves here.
Even West Ham in their last match, they got a 2-2 draw on the road against Leeds. But if you look at their 2 goals, one was a penalty right before halftime, and the other was Brendan Aronson gifting player a shot right at the top of the box, right when they came out of the second half before they really settled.
Wolves 1-0 here is plus 650. I'd be all over that, to be honest. 2-0 plus 1100. I would be all over that game. It's not my favorite game of the weekend, but I think there's value in Wolves this weekend. Brentford, Bournemouth. Bournemouth stinks. Bournemouth's going to be one of the 3 teams that go down. Brentford's actually pretty good. I don't know what the deal is with Tony, but, for Brentford to be minus 165, here's a little bit I don't know how you bet them.
Yeah, that's kind of
I'm not taking them at minus 165 and, minus 0.75 is minus 132. So there's not a lot of value in that game for me.
Maybe over.
Yeah, maybe some other. Bournemouth just gives up goals like a sieve.
Well, the over is only minus 125, and that's what I mean. I would think Brentford scores at least 2. Maybe Bournemouth slips 1 in, but if their defense is, not
Bournemouth allowed 39 goals this year.
Yeah,
and Brentford scored 30 and allowed 28. 2-1, 3-1 is probably a decent play here. So over 2.5 looks pretty good. The Sunday games,
some good ones.
Chelsea, Palace, Newcastle, Fulham, Tottenham, Arsenal.
Fulham just played on Thursday too, or yesterday. So
yeah, and so did Chelsea.
I guess Newcastle had their EFL Cup match too, but
Palace and draw is interesting to me. I just don't think this Chelsea team is very good. Once again, I think they're banged up. They have 100 injuries. They just played on Thursday. They got to play a rested Crystal Palace team.
Yeah, I don't know how they can be minus 150 with all the injuries they have, and now you're going to be missing your brand new forward.
They'll buy somebody else before that probably.
Sorry,
they'll buy somebody else before that.
Oh, yeah. But still, my point is like you just picked up this guy to help out, and now you're not even going to have him for the next game because he gets a red card. So and you're already missing guys like a Aubameyang. There's so many I can't even remember. Like Loftus-Cheek is out. You got Ziyech didn't even start the game the other day. He must be dealing with an injury unless they were just resting him. But I know he came in against Fulham in the last 10 minutes when they were trying to score the tying goal after they had already.
I'm going to give you some crazy stats about this Tottenham Arsenal game. Tottenham, when they play Arsenal in the Premier League at Tottenham, they've won. They're unbeaten since 2014. They've won 6 and draw 1. Like they've won 6 out of 7, but I think they have 2 draws and a bunch of wins. The games are overs all the time. Over here is minus 136. And 3 of the last 4 games these two teams have played have had a red card. Red card here is plus 390.
Wow.
Of all the bets this weekend, I'm not telling you to throw $1,000 on this, but throw $20 on there to be a red card in this game. The last 2 games and 3 of the last 4, there's been a red card. These teams hate each other. This is a huge game for Tottenham. They usually beat Arsenal at home.
They're going to be extra pissed off because they suck and Arsenal doesn't.
Yeah, and it's an interesting game here because, if City wins, they go to 42 points. Tottenham knows if they win, they jump back ahead of United, even though they'll have a game in hand. If Manchester United wins, to get to 38 points, Arsenal knows it opens up an 8-point gap if it wins. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. So, this Arsenal maybe is different. Trends are there and records are made to be broken and all that stuff. But trends are trends. And, Tottenham usually plays well against Arsenal at home. So, that card thing is pretty interesting. I just wanted to show you this too. Next manager to be sacked. Let's see if this has been updated.
Wasn't that minus 175 the other day?
Yes.
Last week when you looked at it?
Yes. Now, because Potter has made inroads here.
The guy's been there for like 10 matches. Like, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. That guy Bowley, who knows?
That's what I mean. Like, it's not Potter's fault that you just grabbing whatever's in sight, throwing it at him, make it work.
Jurgen Klopp. He won't. I can't imagine Lampard lasts the year unless they completely turn it around, which who knows? Maybe they do.
They're talking about getting Wayne Rooney in to replace him.
I think it's a little early, but that would be interesting.
Wayne Rooney just took the job at DC. I don't know why he would leave. Well, obviously, I guess, Premier League team, obviously. But
he's he's an Evertonian and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. I mean, that would be good. Hopefully, he has it in his heart. Hopefully he stays and maybe.
Hey, he did wonders with Derby. He turned DC around. They were having a terrible season and they still weren't good, but they played a lot better once he got there.
The guys that played at United, Rooney. Well, look, if they didn't have 21 points deducted they were in it to the second to last day. And that, it's ridiculous. They couldn't sign players. It was crazy, like the job he did last year. Between him and right now and Michael Carrick at Middlesbrough, it's been crazy what some of these United players, ex-United players have done. See if I don't even know what championship. Middlesbrough's 5th right now under Carrick, and they're 3 points out of 3rd. They're ways behind. You get into those the playoffs are a crapshoot, obviously. This will change 50 times between now and now and then.
Norwich ain't doing the old up and down.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. Fulham's staying up now. Norwich is staying down. So
it's good. I'm tired of seeing them at 20th spot every time they make the Premier League. They're always just occupying the 20th spot. You already know that nobody else is taking that spot from them when they come up.
Yeah, they don't. I feel like they don't take it seriously. They had. They have some decent players, and then they sell them. Blackburn Rovers having no draws is the craziest stat in all of. They have no draws, and they have 0 goal difference. The odds of that happening: 30 goals for, 30 goals against, 14 wins, 12 draws, 12 losses, no draws, and 0 goal difference. This is like the craziest stat line
And we're not talking like 10 matches in. We're almost 30 matches into the season.
That's crazy. Like, how do you not
more than half?
Yeah, I can't even. No one's. Reading has 3. I mean, they're the next closest team. I mean, it's crazy. These teams and this league is that they're all the same. So look, that's basically the weekend of action. Did you have any? Say on the NFL lines here? You like any of these games?
Well, I hear Lamar Jackson is officially out, so maybe the Bengals are a play. That was 8.5 yesterday.
Now it's 9.5.
Now it's 9.5, and some
Bills are 13.5.
But I know what they ruled Tua out already, but I don't even know if it's going to be Tua or Skylar Thompson. And frankly, I don't really care because I don't know what to make of this game. Personally, I don't think even if the Dolphins throw Skylar Thompson out, I don't think the Bills destroy in this game. I mean, maybe they do because they're motivated by Damar Hamlin, but at the same time, they played the Dolphins twice this year, lost once in Miami, and even the game in Buffalo, they only won 31-29. So it's not really a game I want anything to do with just because I could see it could go either way. This Jaguars game is interesting to me. I don't know why the line keeps moving to the Chargers. I think the Jaguars are better. I hear it's supposed to rain in the Seahawks 49ers game. So, you know what happens in the rain with them 49ers. Run. So
I got Bengals -3, Bills -10, and 49ers -3 parlay pays plus 191. Basically.
Little teaser.
Yeah, no, I'll just do a parlay. I'll push the line down on each one.
It's pretty much a teaser what you did there.
Yeah, pretty much. Cowboys for me, the GOAT fading.
Nah,
I'll be honest. I mean, don't listen to me, but I think the only team. I think Tampa could win that game, and I think Tampa could beat the Eagles. I think Tampa's going to be fired up on that game on Monday night. Dallas has looked awful, but that's probably the game that I have the least feel for. The Bengals win easy. I think the Bills win pretty easy. I think the 49ers win pretty easily. The Chargers, Jaguars, if Brendan Staley isn't an idiot, they should win. But the Jaguars, now everybody's on the Chargers, which means I'll probably take the Jaguars at 3.
I'm waiting for that 3.
Yep.
I'd like to get by tomorrow morning. But
Vikings, if the Vikings go to 2.5, the Vikings are 11-0 in games decided by 1 score. So, I mean, to me, I would take the Vikings. I know that game it was like last-second field goal last time the Vikings won 27-24. Of all the games where there could be an upset, the Giants may be there, but once again, this Monday night game is brutal to call for me. I'd like to maybe see what happens with some of these other games.
The Cowboys are 1-5 on grass this year.
Yeah, they're bad on grass. That's the other thing, Bill. They're bad on grass, and now it's in their head. This grass, they're going to water Chiefs Tampa Super Bowl. Oh man, I had the Glazers, man. I backed the Glazers. I had Tampa Bay, man. I had Tampa Bay big in that Super Bowl. I had them on the money line, so I won big on that. I've won some decent money in the Super Bowl the last few years. So I had the Rams last year. I had Cooper Kupp to win the MVP last year. Yeah,
I'm waiting for what Mattress Mac is doing in the Super Bowl, and then I'll bet accordingly.
Yeah, bet against him. All right, so we'll be back on Monday with all the stuff. So and tune into Bulu, whatever the heck he's calling himself today. Tonight at 6. Bill, if you're a big college basketball guy, Bulu, the cap and guru, he's going to be on at 6 o'clock. He's only going to be on 6 o'clock every day, and then he's going to be on the weekends as well. He's going to have 11 shows in the morning. He'll tell you more about that today, but he's going to he's been pretty good. I think his free plays are maybe like 18-6 or something this week. So if you like college basketball, tune into him. He's good. All right, so we will see you next week, I guess.